Okay. I've lost way too many games to my teammates pressing the R key, so I'm gonna make this video in the hopes that the new generation can understand why this is so bad. See, 90% of players fall into two types of people: the ones who don't do anything once they're down, and the ones who press the R key. So let's start with first fixing the first kind of people. When your HP reaches 0 in a fight, the game is not actually over, even if it feels like it. You get access to 3 down skills while you're crawling on the floor. The first one by default Q will make you what your teammates want to do after they see you instantly die in a fight. You essentially just blow up, but like literally you blow up after 5 seconds and you can't really cancel it if you press it. So now the explosion does do a little bit of damage, and a lot of people, I see them, they try to use it to deal damage with the explosion in the hopes that it will help your team win the fight somehow, but 90% of times that's just not gonna be worth it. Now with that being said, there is actually use for this skill, so let me mention you 2 scenarios which you might experience or you might have had in the past in one of your games that are actually useful for you to use this skill. The first scenario happens when it's D4 and your team is trying to revive you at the kiosk, but you're down and you're not fully dead. So for those who don't know, whenever you try to revive someone, if they're not fully dead, you can't actually do it. So you're gonna need to blow yourself up so your team can buy you back at the kiosk before day 5, when revives essentially get disabled. At the same time, if it's about to turn to day 5, you might want to wait to kill a corpse if you realize that they're not blowing themselves up, because that way you can prevent that team from getting their teammate back into the game. The second scenario is one people don't actually think about often, and you actually have an even shorter window of time to get this one off. It is essentially when you die in a battle zone right before it starts. A lot of the times you get into this battle zone and you're prepping before it starts, you're ready to fight teams, and sometimes the fight just starts early. If you happen to get down before the fight starts and your team has to leave the battle zone, see, you don't want to leave your corpse there sitting there as the battle zone starts, because down corpses do count for the rewards of the battle zone. So the rewards will scale with your dead corpse, and you're essentially giving that team that beat you in that fight, or whichever other team is in that battle zone, extra rewards for a fight that they already won. So next time you die in the battle zone early, right before the battle zone starts, you want to make sure you're blowing yourself up. That way you prevent that team from getting the extra rewards, and vice versa. If you killed someone in a battle zone, make sure you don't finish your corpse before the battle zone starts, because if you wait until it starts, it will actually count for the rewards for your team. Next, it's the default W skill. So for a default W skill, this is the one that most people should be using. For a small cost of HP, you actually get to speed up while you're crawling, which will allow you to put your corpse in safety away from the fight. This way you can save your team a lot of credits now that your corpse did not die to collateral damage that just happens in a fight normally. And sometimes in fights there'll be a pretty even exchange where each team kills one person, and you can try to crawl back towards your team so that you can have a clean reset while one person zones the other team and the other one revives you. Now onto the main reason for this video, we have for default R key. This one is actually a self-revive, which, you know, on paper it sounds amazing, like, yeah, let me just self-revive. But no, this ability actually sucks. It consumes 80% of your HP, and it takes 20 seconds of channeling, aka you can't move, you can't do anything else, to get it off. It also additionally makes a very loud noise that can be heard even in bushes, and this will get cancelled if you take any damage at all. You're essentially asking to get killed by using it and putting yourself at 1 HP for fun. Not only that, but when people finish your corpse, you actually get a small heal, which can end up affecting the fight, and I've seen it so many times where your teammate will press the R key, will go down to 1 HP, they will hit the corpse to prevent the self-rest, and just get a free almost half HP heal depending on how low they were, and then because of that they get to turn the fight and win. This ability is actually a very last resort thing, that it has very niche cases when your body essentially gets forgotten completely behind, and or maybe you managed to crawl in an insane distance and the enemy completely lost track of you, or there was a third party that drove them away from the corpse and the third party didn't see the corpse either. Then you can maybe start trying to go for the self-res, and even then it's very rarely that you actually get pulled off. So once again, it is very niche. Now one thing that it is useful is that if you were self-resting and your team won the fight, so you don't need to self-res anymore, if your team is trying to rest you, you're gonna need to cancel that self-rest so they can actually rest you way quicker, which for that you can just press the R key again, it will cancel it. It's a little annoying because you can't click away or anything, you have to actually press R, but that is actually useful information to know, so I'll leave that. But yeah, next time just make sure you're not the guy who presses R for fun, or the ones that don't do anything at all. Next time you get down, you know, try to crawl your way out of there and see how far you can actually go. That was it for me. I hope you learned something in this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.